Hi, I'm KK Bransford. I'm a junior at Mount Notre Dame High School, and I've narrowed my list down, but I'm still undecided.
It's getting serious on this track, fam.
KK Bransford, welcome to What's in Your Bag. Now, we don't know each other, so I'm excited to learn more about you through your 3 items. But you know, one of the things I found out about you is not only are you one of the best players in Greater Cincinnati, the state, but in the country. And one thing I've heard about you over and over is just how humble you've remained during your whole process. Because sometimes you see players, you know, they go from, you know, being okay to then being a big time star, and then they start to get caught up in that. But I hear with you, you are just so grounded. So I'm excited to learn about your story and how you stayed so grounded during your journey. So let's start with your bag first.
Okay. So, the first thing that I have is...
Well, we got to start with the bag.
Oh, the bag
yeah,
itself?
You got to describe the bag here.
Okay,
because
so...
there's something to the bag we got to talk about.
Yeah, this is my USA bag. I got it when I made the USA U16. And it wasn't this past year, but the year before that. We went to the Americas and we won the gold medal. So that was like a really big moment of my life, a really big accomplishment that I had to try out, and all the stress of like making the team and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a long process, but it was like a really big accomplishment.
So how do you get to that point where you can actually try out? Because no one can just walk in and try out for Team USA.
Well, okay, technically, like you can't. Like you have to, so you can be invited or you can be like an applicant. So you can send in an application, and like if they approve of that. But that year I was invited, so I got to go up there and stay in the like dorm rooms kind of at the Olympic Center, which was pretty cool because it was like other sports there and it wasn't just basketball and like other Olympians, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so then we went up there and the trials were, I think, were about 5 days, and then they narrowed it down to the final 18. Then you went home for like 3 days. Then you came back and stayed for a whole week of like practice with the 18 finalists, and then after that you cut down to 12 people.
So that's got to be nerve-wracking.
Very.
You're like, oh, that's like a game show. Like, did I make my finalists?
Yes.
So when you left there, were you like, okay, I think I made it? I mean, were you confident? You're like, I think I made it. I hope I made it.
Well, so when I left for the when we had like the final 18, I was just like, okay, I got to come back and I got to get down all the way to 12 people. So like 6 people is like not that many people to get cut. And you know, you get there like that far and stuff, because I think it starts out with like 100 people or something like that. So I was just like, I need to really work hard in these practices. And there's actually an incident. We had to make 8 free throws in a row. So and I was the last person, like that was the end of practice, and I could not make 8 free throws in a row. Like for some reason, I would always get to like 7th one or 6th one, miss the last one. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get cut. So that was like, I feel like, but I really stayed grounded, and the girls were great, like very encouraging and stuff. So I was just like I think even though that happened, like I fought through it, and I ended up making the 8 free throws after a long time.
Well,
but I was just like that really was a big moment for me, just showing and I still made the team. Like, you got to keep going. That's not like the end of the world. Something happens, like you just got to keep going. So that was pretty big.
Where were you when you found out that you made the cut?
So you go into there, you sit with the girls, and then they bring you into a room. Just the
like everybody?
Coaches. Yeah, so it's everybody, and then they call you by alphabetical order, and you go in the room, or you go downstairs or whatever, go in the room with the 2 coaches, and they say like, okay, you made the team, and and then if you made it, then you have, or if you made it or didn't make it, you have to like walk outside. So like all the girls are upstairs and you can see out the window them walking outside.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and so like people were
cutthroat.
before me, and I was just looking at them like you were trying to count, like, do they look happy? Do they
Right.
look sad? Like, so yeah, so I came in the room and they're like, how are you feeling? I was like, pretty nervous,
Yeah.
you know? But they were just like, well, you made the team. And so that was like a really big moment for me. I called my parents right then and there and was just like I actually cried. Like, I was just so surprised, like all the hard work I put in. That was a big goal of mine, and it was just really cool to be a part of.
And so how was that experience once you started playing?
It was really good. Like, the girls were so good. We were there for 2 weeks in the training facility and practiced for 2 weeks.
And where was that?
It was in Colorado.
Okay.
Yep. So then after that, we went to Chile for a week after the 2 weeks. And so I was gone for like almost about a month. And it was just really cool. Like, the girls were so good, so talented, and it was good to be surrounded by like those kind of girls who had those same kind of goals and stuff,
Sure.
same kind of work ethic. And those 2 weeks, it was like the hardest 2 weeks of my life, because it was like 2-a-days, and like I'm all tired. Like, you have to wake up bright and early in the morning, then you have to go to sleep at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. So it was like a lot, but just like being around that kind of greatness. And I met people that were like Kara Lawson. She's a legend. We got to meet her. She was coaching the 3-on-3 team. So like all that was really cool. Then when we actually went to Chile, like I got to meet other girls who were from other countries. We played really good together. So I feel like even to this day, we actually went up there or to a girl's house and we all hung out. Like, we're all super close, and it was just really cool to like build those bonds and be able to be a part of that.
And it's amazing too that, you know, the game of basketball can take you and connect you to the entire world.
Right.
Like, growing up, did you ever expect that you'd be on Team USA playing in Chile, traveling the world?
I know. Yeah, I would have never expected that. I mean, like, it's always been like a goal of mine, like seeing other girls, oh, they made the USA team, like that's super cool. But like actually being there, being a part of it, it was just like so much different than what you think. Like, it's so much bigger like than basketball itself.
Yeah.
Like you said, meeting those people, meeting those girls, being able to be coached by the coaches that we had. Like,
Who'd you have? Who were your coaches?
His name was Mark Campbell.
Okay.
I forget which, like, he coached out of college, but I think it was like D2 college. But,
Okay.
yeah, it was like they were great people. The staff members of USA were great people. So, yeah.
So if you could say you took away one thing from being around the other girls, and like you said before, it's awesome to be around people that are like-minded thinking and have those type of goals. When you left there, what did you take away from all of them that you applied to your game and bring it back to MND?
It definitely helped me with like my work. Like, I saw that there was other girls that are like not just as athletic as, or they're more just as athletic as me, and I was just like I have to keep working. There's other, like, you never know who's out there. Even there's a couple girls from like the Mexico team, like they were just really good, and I'm like, okay, I gotta keep working. Like, it's not just my little bubble here in Ohio and all that. So like I really took that and really getting better, trying to get better like each day, whether that's in practice, a game and stuff, and not practicing for that specific game, like practicing for when I go to like other places and meet other players that are just as good as me, or if not even better. So
Well, great. That's an awesome experience. So now I'm excited to learn, you know, about your journey here. So let's start with the shoes.
Okay. So the shoes I brought,
Okay.
I brought some Katie's. They're pink.
All right.
Is
Is that your color? Pink?
Pink is not my favorite color, but it's my favorite color to wear.
Okay.
So blue's my favorite color, but pink, I've always wore pink shoes. Like, growing up, I've never not wore pink shoes when I was younger, especially.
Okay.
Now, like in high school, you know, you have like your team shoes and stuff. So that was like a really big change. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, Kiki, you're not wearing your pink shoes.
Yeah.
So these are actually, so once we got to the state tournament, like going in the tournament and stuff, I was like, I need to bring my pink shoes back out. So these were actually my shoes from last year. So that was pretty important because we played in the regional finals, and that was our last game because of COVID. And we were on our way to state. So like these are the shoes I was wearing throughout that whole tournament, and like I said, like the pinks, like kind of a symbol of just like how I was when I was younger. Like there's plenty of pictures of me with pink shoes and stuff just growing up. So I just was, and it was so cool that like my teammates like supported that. They're like, oh, we know you wear pink shoes. Like that's cool. Go ahead, wear your pink shoes.
That's your thing.
Yeah. So that was really big. And also I scored my 1,000 points last year, the last game of my sophomore year. With these shoes, so that was a big moment for me too.
Yeah, very special. Let's talk a little bit about your high school, Mount Notre Dame. A rich tradition with Mount Notre Dame, a lot of success. Dr. Scott Rogers is your coach. A lot of players have come before you. Mel Thomas being one. A lot of great players. So you going in there, you know, freshman year, you play right away. You're an important part of the team. What did that mean for you, you know, going into a school like that with so much success in the past, so many, you know, great players? You know, what was that like for you being thrown right away into the fire as a freshman?
That was just like, that was something big for me when I was picking my high school, what high school I was going to go to. Just being able to be surrounded by greatness. Like the seniors we had that year were, my freshman year was really great. Like I feel like they've been a part of how I am today, or the player I am today, because they taught me. Like they would beat up on me and all that. Like again, I wasn't the best one, and I had to really work for my spot, and I kind of like that. Like I like being able to be challenged and being able to, like you said, Mel Thomas. Like I'm coming after great people, great players. Sure. So it's kind of like. And Coach Rogers, like it's an expectation. Like, okay, you're gonna be great. You're gonna go through like trials and tough times, but at the end of the day, like it's gonna prepare you to be great. So that was like really, like I really like Mount Notre Dame, and that's part of the reason why I really like it.
So what type of goals did you set going in there, knowing that so many players have come before you that have done great things? So what type of goals do you set? Do you look at those and look at like Mel and others who have done great things and say, I've got to do one step better?
Well, actually, like when I first came in there, I was like, there's so many great players there. I was like, let me first make varsity.
So I was
like
important.
super worried about that. And we had conditioning that summer, and I was just like, that was very important to me. I needed to work hard during conditioning to even have the chance to get on the court with those girls, because they've been doing it for 3-4 years, and I have to earn my way. I can't just come in there thinking like, okay, like, oh, I came from middle school, so like they were on a totally different level, and I was just like, let me work hard in conditioning, take one like practice at a time, and kind of learn from them. I just really wanted to learn like how are they so great? What is the tradition? How they get to where they were? And just looking at like going in the gym, looking at all the banners, that was really cool. Like there is a team there that won 4 straight state championships in a row, so that was definitely a goal of mine. It's still a goal of mine. So that's what I want to do. I want to get 4 state championship rings.
I love it. You surround yourself with greatness. You're around great people. Speak a little bit about your coach, Scott Rogers.
Scott Rogers, yes. Me and him have a really good relationship. Like he's a very hard person. Like he will get on you, he will yell at you, but at the end of the day, you know he really cares about you, and that's like super big for me. Like he'll text me after the game like, okay, so what did you think? And me and him, like, we have that dialogue where I can look at film and like, okay, I see this, how can I do this better? So like he's very open to that stuff, which is really good. And just he's had so much experience with Mel Thomas and everybody throughout those years going to state championships. So he's like, he knows when like you're good. He knows when you can get to the state championships and all that and be a really great team. So he keeps it real with us, and he tells us, okay, like, you guys are slacking off. You guys need to work harder. And like I feel like our team really respects that, just because he's been through it, like he's experienced it. And yeah, like he can be hard on us, but we know deep down, like at the end of the day, he has our back, whether it's on the court, off the court, any of that. Like he'll fight for us. So Coach Scott Rogers is like a really great guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I just thought of something while you were talking. Looking at these shoes here, And I understand you're into fashion. You like to style.
Yep.
You're styling today. These shoes obviously are very stylish. They're Kevin Durant model shoes. You know, one thing is there aren't really many female athletes that have shoes on the basketball side of things. Maybe you could be one of the first to have your own shoe. Have you thought about playing in the WNBA? Is that a goal?
Yes, that is a goal of mine. And going back to the shoe things, I actually have thought about, like, okay, when I'm older and hopefully in the WNBA, like, I want to be able to make some shoes, like a pink line of shoes or something. I think that's really cool, and like you said, I'm really into fashion, so I think I'll make some pretty good shoes.
I think you can make that happen, and there's just not a big market for that right now, and maybe you could be that person that leads to that. Now, speaking of the WNBA, I heard that one of the great players to come out of this area and in the WNBA, Kelsey Mitchell. You've spent some time with Kelsey. Can we talk about that?
Yes, Kelsey, she's great. Especially before this season, I didn't know whether we were going to have a season or not, and a goal of mine for my junior season was to get my shot quicker and to be really consistent from the three-point line. So like I just known her from around the city, like just seeing her and her dad and everything. So I like texted her and I was like, when can we get in the gym? I see how fast I went to a couple of gyms with her, and I'm just like, her shot release is so quick. I was like, I want to get to that point. So I was like, when do you get it? When are you gonna get in the gym? And she was like, I'll text you. And like, it was just so cool how open she was about it. She wasn't like, you know, trying to hide anything or anything. She was just like super open, like, yeah, come on, like, let's go. And she's kind of really taking me under her wing and just showing me like different things and different techniques of how to get my shot quicker and working out with me. So I thought that was really cool. And like, she's such a great player. She gives me, I really take advice from her because she's went through those things.
Absolutely.
Like coming here, being in Cincinnati, high school player, then college, and now to the WNBA, and that's where I want to be at. So I really look up to her.
Do you have conversations with her about playing in the WNBA?
Yes, I ask her about her experiences all the time. Right now she's overseas, so I was just like how is that, and what's the difference between, like, because you got to go from high school to college and college to WNBA, and she was like, it's just so much faster and so much more things you got to learn. Like, you feel like at college that's it, but once you go to the WNBA, you got to go to a higher level. So I just thought that was like pretty interesting.
Well, that was great that you reached out to her to learn from her. I think one of the things is you look at, you know, KD and other players, you know, they would reach out to Kobe Bryant and say, I need to learn more about your mentality. So even though KD's a great player, you're a great player, you're seeking out other great players to learn, to help take your game to the next level. So that's great that you do that. So I'm expecting one day that you're going to have your own shoe.
Okay.
Those Air KKs, so I can get them. Even in pink, I'll rock them. Let's see your second item here.
Okay, so my second item, it's kind of two items, but I combined it into one. It's my high school team, my AAU team. Okay. My shirts from that, my AAU team is Angels, and then my high school team again is Mount Notre Dame. I feel like they've really helped me on my journey. The girls who play on the team, like I said, they're like sisters to me. There's been girls that came from the Angels, where the Angels is a great program. You can, like, they have their own facility, so that's like really helpful for me, and like I can get in the gym whenever I want. And also, like, I could have played on like EYBL teams and stuff, but I just felt like being able to go to practice, being able to get to know the girls on my teams, not, you know, just showing up for tournaments. Like, I felt like that was really important for me. So Angels is like a really great program, and they help people in the future. Like, it's just not like a okay right now kind of thing. Right. It's like I can go back to them, I know, like 10 years and still ask if I need help for anything. And then Mount Notre Dame, like we talked about, like just a really great school, really great environment. Not even just basketball, like my high school itself, being in school, the way it pushes me and the way I feel like it's setting me up for college. Like I struggle. I have to really study. Like when my middle school that I went to, I never studied, and I still got like
sounds
A's
like
and
sounds
stuff.
like me.
Like I never just had to study. So then when I went to Mount Notre Dame, it really made me get disciplined, and I feel like that's really going to help me in college. So it's kind of shaping me to who I will be in the future.
So how many years did you play for the Angels?
Last year was my second year
Okay.
playing with them. My sister, she played with them since about second grade. She's in 8th grade now. So I've been around that program for a long time, just working out with Dante Harlan and Coach Chris Arrington. So like they're really great people, and they've always been there for me. Even though I didn't play on their team, they've always been there for me, and I feel like they've really helped me to where I am today.
Now, you mentioned your sister. She's in 8th grade. Went Woods, is that
Yep.
correct? You also have an older brother, BJ, who went to St. X, played basketball there.
Yes.
He's now at Ohio State.
Yep.
So, interesting. You're kind of in the middle. So, this is a two-part question. How much did you learn from your brother, him being older than you growing up, and now how much are you teaching your sister now that you're the one that knows more, you know, and older?
Right. Well, my brother, we're all super close, all three of us, really close. Like we can laugh about anything, talk about anything. And for my brother, I really look up to him. He's always been like super smart. Like he'll be at like the dinner table. Like I remember one time we went out to eat and he's like studying. I'm like, what are you doing? Like that's so weird. Like he was just that type of person. So like I've kind of always looked up to him, wanting to be like that. He went to Ohio State. He doesn't play basketball in Ohio State, but he still got there, and like that was really cool and kind of inspiring for me. Like you got to go get what you want, and
Sure.
He did it, and I just like I'm very proud of him. And like I said, we're really close, so he talks to me like, okay, KK, like he knows when I'm messing up. He'll be like, KK, okay, get your stuff together, like you're better than that. And that's like really cool for me, and I want to do that for my sister. I want
Yeah.
to be that person where she's looking up to me, seeing like, okay, like I can be her, I can go where she wants to be. So I kind of got to, you know, have my expectations high, because that's what I want for my sister.
Yeah, that's a great family dynamic. Now, let's even rewind it and look at your mother and father. And as you talk about some of these items here, one thing I definitely notice is just how grounded you are, loyalty and all that. Obviously, that comes from home. Your mom and dad, the role they've played in your success.
Yeah, my parents, they've always been there for me, always took me to like all my practices, all my games, and that's like really important to me. They've sacrificed so many things, so like I'm very thankful and grateful for them. And they've also like, I feel like you used to talk about like me being humble and stuff, but I feel like I give that to them, because like they are definitely like, okay, you're not the best one. Like, when you know, they kind of keep me down on that kind of big head stuff. So like I appreciate everything they do, and like when I grow up, I want to give back to them. I want to kind of show them that, okay, you've done something great. I want them to, you know, not feel like disappointed or anything.
Sure.
And so like they're very important to me. My whole family is, and they're big on like, okay, your family comes first. So that's like really big for me.
Yeah, I remember the conversation I had with your mother. I spoke with her on the phone to set this up and all that, and she was funny. She's just talking about you. She was like, "Yeah, she's a great player, but she's definitely a girl. Always brushing her hair, got to have her fashion right, and all
Yes.
this." She was funny, so I really enjoyed the conversation with her. So this is great. So this is your second item.
Yep.
Okay, you got something else for me?
Yep. My third item. Let me see. It's a Bible.
Okay.
So
All right.
God is really big in my life. I would never be where I am today. It's a little beat up.
Yeah,
It's kind
see?
of old. Yeah, it's
all right.
been all the way since I was growing up. It was my dad's, and he gave it to me like when I was 5 years old. So it's been, God is like, I would never be where I am today without him. And my family, that's really big in my family, like having faith in God, and you know, just being able, like I pray every night. I actually started during the pandemic, which is kind of helped me, because the pandemic has kind of helped me, because it's given me more time to, you know, look inside myself and
Sure.
look at what I actually want. And God was something that I was like, I need to do better in this. Like, so now like I read 20 verses a night in the Bible. So, and that's really, I feel like it's really helped me build my relationship with God, and build my relationship with people, because I feel like if I don't have self-love or like where I am with God and knowing where I am, I can't like be a better person. So I feel like that's really helped me this past year in 2020. It's been a hard, crazy year. So that's really leveled me and, you know, kept me with hope. So thinking about in the future, like God's got me to where I am today, and He'll get me through everything else.
And you just said some of the things important. I think there's so many young people that struggled during the pandemic. You found success through it.
Yeah.
Also, your teammates, your friends, how did you help them get through maybe some struggles with the pandemic? Because I hear you're a great teammate.
Yeah. My teammates are really important to me. So like, I feel like they always tell me like, KK, you give the best advice, and I don't really feel like that, but I'm just like
but you're just there
try
for
to,
them.
yeah, I try to be real with them and let them know that, yeah, I will be there for you, and God is like the higher power. So if you have any problems, I remember I sent like, it was like a Bible plan to a couple of my friends, and I was like, this really helped me, like being a teenager during this time, and how all that can kind of affect you, and just knowing that God has your back, and like I can have your back too, and I can get you through, navigate you through those ways, and just kind of be there for you. So yeah, like my friends, my family, they're really big to me, and I feel like that's because I know that God says that like you have to love others. You have to not just kind of think about yourself, but you won't get where you are today without like people around you that you love.
And you it seems that you welcome the responsibility of not only being a leader, but you know, being a role model, because at the end of the day, KK, there are a lot of girls that look at you as, I want to be like KK. Okay, I know this because I've heard this doing my research. You seem to embrace that role.
Yeah, I just feel like people before me, like I said, my brother and my parents, they've kind of been a role model to me. So I feel like it's only right to kind of help others, and I know how good it felt to be able to come to them. And even with Angels, like we have Bible studies. I have people in that program where I know, okay, I can go to them, and Mount Notre Dame, I can go to my coaches, and I know that they'll steer me in the right direction. So I want to be that person for other people, people that look up to me, and people that like love me and stuff. So I want to do right by them.
Yeah, and one constant theme I'm seeing throughout all this stuff is just like you building all these different families. Your Team USA family, right? Your family with the Angels, MND, your mother and father, your brother and your sister. You have all these families. You have a tough decision to make at some point, and that is the next family, and that's going to be college. You have I mean, you've had offers that it'd be too long to list, but you've narrowed those down to 12. Would you mind just even mentioning some of those and what it's taken to get it down to 12?
It's definitely been like a really hard position or decision, and it's just because, like you said, you're building relationships. I'm building relationships with the coaches, and I know when I narrowed it down, it was really tough for me just looking at, okay, what do I want? But I knew that the people like that I built those relationships, because of how we've talked and stuff, they were very happy for me. Like they want what's best for me, and I really felt that. And like I wanted to call them myself and tell them, okay, like I'm narrowing it down. And although like we've had a like great relationship and conversations and stuff, I just don't see myself there. But I felt like I should tell them personally. Just because, I mean, they've taken the time out for me, and I was like very grateful for that. And even when I was like growing up with the college process, I feel like I kind of didn't understand like, okay, this is college, like when I was really young and stuff. But I feel like it really helped me just having conversations with people, knowing how to talk to people and all of that, and that's like really helped me. So now I'm just kind of looking at, you know, I'm building these relationships, and a lot of the coaches I've gotten really close with, so I know when I have to, you know, narrow it down to one school, like it's going to be really big, but I know that the people that I have in my 12, I know that they'll be happy for me, whatever I choose, because they want what's best for me, and I know that the people around me, like my family and stuff, they'll support whatever I have, so that gives me like a lot of confidence in my decision.
Yeah, that's a tough decision to make,
Yeah.
because that's going to be your next family. And it sounds like you're handling everything with class, you know, speaking to those maybe that didn't make the top 12 and handling it the right way. And not every player does that. And that's a great life lesson too, of not burning bridges
Right.
along the way, because you never know when you
never
might
know.
run into that person again, and you know, you might need them, they might need you.
Mm-hmm.
So making that final decision, when do you plan to make that decision and announce that? Have you thought about that?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of hard with the pandemic because you can't get on campuses.
Yeah.
So, and
Have you been doing the online tours and
yeah,
stuff?
I've been doing the online
That's
tours.
weird. It's a weird
It's
thing.
a little weird, but I mean, those help too and very informational. But I feel like when you get in person, having those vibes and being on campus, like that'll kind of let me know a little bit more. I know talking to like people, like older people, they're always like once you get there, you'll know. Like
Yeah.
a light bulb will click. So like I don't have like a timetable or anything. I know I'm just trying to take my time through it all. And hoping that the pandemic like kind of goes away. There's going to be a time if it never goes away, like it's going to force me to just kind of go with my heart. But until then, I'm just trying to take my time, build these relationships, watch their games, and see how I kind of fit in with them.
Sure, sure. That's great. You keep saying a key word, and that's relationships. That's what life's about. All right, KK, as part of coming on the show, our presenting sponsor, Penn Station, has supplied us with a bunch of food, free food
Good.
to give to you. So we've got some free subs and fries. You like Penn Station?
Yes, I actually love Penn Station. It's my favorite fast food place to go to.
Nice. So when you go to Penn Station, what's in your bag?
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
Yep, some fries and lemonade.
Ooh.
Yep.
There you go. We'll give Penn Station a shout out real quick.
Shout out to Penn Station. Thank you.